Welcome everyone to the What's the Play podcast. I'm Brian. I'm here with CT and JB, and we got Caleb behind the camera. Fantastic Four for tonight. So we are doing this the day after the NBA Finals started. So of course, Game 1 happened. I believe the Nuggets won 103 to 84. That might be wrong.
94.
94.
Yeah, 94.
Okay.
It was closer than what it was.
Yeah, it was
No,
closer.
I thought they won by 11. I thought it was 104-93.
That could be it as well.
That could be it as well. I'm
Semantics.
sorry.
Point
is they lost.
I haven't looked at the score in a minute. You know what I'm saying? I think I'll start it off with my analysis real quick.
Before we get into that,
Oh yeah, you're right.
You know,
Yeah, C2.
I don't want to do this too late. Want to make sure everybody's paying attention when we say this. This is probably the most important thing we're going to say. We need you all to like, share, and subscribe, comment, and share. Of course, that's what we really need you to do. We need you guys to share. We've received a slight little uptick in social media following and interaction lately.
And we've also seen an uptick in subscribers too, so we appreciate that as well.
We appreciate that, and we need you guys to continue doing the job, man. Send it to your mom, your dad, your auntie, your uncle, your sister, your brother, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, you know.
Sneaky link.
Hey, that too, you know.
Make it happen, yeah.
But yeah, we appreciate the support. We trying to get better for y'all, and we just need y'all to help us out as well. So yeah, you know, like Brian said, we three-man weaving it today. Just us three and Caleb behind the camera, of course.
For sure. And thoughts and prayers for Nate and JG for sure. Please.
Why did you say that?
Keep them in mind. Keep them in mind.
There's nothing wrong with them. They're just not present. That's okay.
That's what we like to say. They're not present with
Not
us right
present.
now.
But yeah, before we get into basketball talk, you know, we all watched the game, of course. But yesterday, while the game was going on, we also went to go see Spider-Man.
I'm about to say you.
This is not just a sports podcast.
Yeah, we're sports and entertainment.
No, so you watched the game, but I don't know what time was the game again?
Same time as Spider-Man.
Okay, right. Okay.
But we watched it after.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah. Right.
Come on now. Reruns.
Replay, man.
Yeah, come on now.
Yeah, I got a DVR.
Maybe, let me find out. Maybe we was the only ones who watched
Maybe,
it.
I don't know.
But yeah, you know, we went to go see Spider-Man. Nice little group move, you know.
Yeah, man.
But anybody want to say anything about the movie? I give it a 8.75 out of 10.
Where's that accent coming from, bro? It
What
kills me
accent?
every
He
time.
been in Baltimore too long, man.
What's
You know,
going
he's been
on?
up there at
It's not,
times.
it's not an accent, man. I don't know
It's
what
a
you're talking
lifestyle.
about. Yeah, hey.
It's a lifestyle so crazy.
I mean, I'm new to this and true to this, man.
You tried it again.
This
He
is
didn't
who I
do
am.
it.
Say again.
What?
I'm new to.
No, I don't.
My
I'm
bad.
You
not
know
saying
you
it on
notice he didn't
purpose.
say it.
Go ahead, Caleb.
But I think that Spider-Man, that was a great movie. Great movie. I think it was. I won't say it's the greatest superhero or animated movie I saw, but like, it's up there with the last one. The last one was better. I think the last one is 10 out of 10. It's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
This one was really good. I give it a 9 out of 10. But like, I feel like early on they got a little too sentimental. But it's a kids movie, so I get it. It's an anime movie, I get it. But like, early on, I understand that. What's her name? I forgot her name already. Gwen. She missed Miles and all, but like, had him like all over, or like the reflections in the train. It was like, damn, that's crazy.
He was doing the same thing for her too, and I was,
But
you
different.
know,
He was drawing
every
her.
time we flipped through the book, JB smacked his teeth, man. 'Cause
Dang.
Milkman. Yeah, that's him.
You know, for the people that are you know, listening to this right now, we might do a few spoilers, so we'll have like a spoiler tag in the description before.
I mean, we could. Can we talk about it and avoid spoilers?
I mean, we can try,
can,
but I'm
kinda.
just trying to
We don't
give
gotta
a warning just in case.
Well,
You know.
yeah, for sure.
we don't gotta go deep into the film itself.
Well, point
you know.
is-
Yeah, but back to the.
I give it
you know,
9 out of
back to-
10. That's it. I'll give
Yeah,
it 9
I
out of
say-
10.
You said 9 or 10.
9 out of 10.
Okay,
Yeah,
got you.
back to my ranking real quick. I said 8.75 out of 10 simply because I feel like for a sequel, it started a bit slow and it ended a little. It left us a little unsatisfied.
Yeah, a little underwhelming.
Once you go see
For
the
sure.
movie, you'll understand.
For sure.
But at the end of the day, as a standalone movie, it was a great movie, great film, very enjoyable. But yeah, I mean, everything doesn't have to be a 10 out of 10. I think this is one of the best movies to come out this year easily.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I
The
say
best.
8.75. May not have as high of a ranking as other people we've heard who were saying like 12 out of 10, 15 out of 10. I just feel that's a bit crazy. But
Yeah, that's a little crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a million out of 10.
Okay.
Which is like y'all. I don't know what y'all watched. I didn't see that, but my ranking, I'll say 8 out of 10. 8.5 is fair.
Thoughts and prayers said that. A million out of 10.
No, y'all don't know who that is.
Oh, okay.
Nah, they're on this plane. But I would say that again, without spoiling, like we all know, he's a milkman.
Yeah.
He's a milkmeister. But outside of that, it was a lot of the same themes, a lot of the same plot. The comedy was good. I'll say that. The storyline was still good. Like I said, it was a little bit slow in the beginning, but once it picked up, it was like action packed for sure. Looking forward to what comes next.
For sure.
Yeah. I think they covered a lot in 2 hours, obviously. Like we said before, it started a little bit slow.
Yeah.
And I think like JB said, JB said when we were leaving the theater, I think there were some things that could have been cut out so that it could have been a little bit, not more free flowing, but I think when you get, the ending would have been like a little bit further
along.
Yeah, a little bit further along, so you might have had a little, so it wouldn't have been as underwhelming.
I think that's intentional.
I think they intentionally did that.
For sure.
Yeah.
But
it's a money making machine right here.
Of course.
I think to the movie, with as much as that was in the movie, I feel like it felt like it was longer than 2 hours almost.
It
did.
Really
but,
did.
But when you go back and look at it, it was like, it felt like you said, they could have cut some stuff out. But I honestly feel like there wasn't really much wasted time in the movie. Everything
I agree
that happened was important to the end result of the story in a way. But yeah, I mean, we don't have to talk about this long.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I remember. I mean, we kind of talked about it already, but I remember like at the end, like I think we were all sitting there like, as it was starting to get close to the end, but we didn't know it was the end. We all like looked at our phones. It was like, you like, has it been 2 hours? And it was like, 'cause I think I saw Caleb look. I looked at Caleb's phone. And it was like 12 something.
I was constantly looking at my phone though. I knew it was gonna be 2 hours. So like towards the end, I knew the run time was 2 hours 14 minutes.
Yeah, I was like, oh, they're really about to do this.
Yeah, it started. Yeah, and I got in at the perfect time. So I got to the theater. It started. It was at 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, it's 12:05.
Yeah.
What's about to happen? Like in the next 9 minutes. So it's like, but I'm not mad at it though. I'm excited actually.
Yeah, but yeah, I think they covered a lot, as CT said.
You know, it's cool though, because we had talked about going to see this after a podcast recording. I think earlier in the month of May, I would say. I mean,
it was last week.
I think JB mentioned it. No, it was like
I think it was like 2 weeks before.
Yeah, I think it was. I was on the Discord call. I remember.
Oh,
because we was talking about the movie. Remember when
I'm
not gonna say what you said.
I remember now.
Are you talking about
yes.
About Alabama?
When JB went to the movies with hey. But yeah, we said we gotta start hanging out as our friend group, and JB has said there it is, and JB has said we should go see Spider-Man. It was just cool to see that something that we had mentioned actually like happened. We made it out the group chat.
Yeah, man.
We'll come out in a couple weeks.
Hey man, tune into the next After Hours episode to get the full story on what CT was doing.
Dang,
the Flash comes out in a few weeks.
That's next week.
Transformers next week.
June.
That's what I'm finna see.
You want to see Transformers?
I'm going to
That's
see
gonna be
Flash.
Okay.
June 15th. I
Oh,
believe.
what's that drink called? Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer.
Oh, yeah,
I'm about to say, I think we all just gonna wait for Oppenheimer, honestly.
All right.
Oh, y'all going to see that?
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know if I have the mental capacity to watch that.
I might fall asleep a couple times.
I'm gonna be so lost.
I fell asleep in Spider-Man.
I'm gonna be so. I don't.
It's like early
I don't
on,
know.
like 2
You think
minutes.
it's gonna be
That makes sense.
like how it is in Spider-Man, like some quantum physics type stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I don't. The language.
It's going to be a lot of dialogue with no action.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
So practically like a play.
They want to be like drama. Like it's gonna be drama, but it's not gonna be as like intense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but if everybody goes to see it, they
You
got
gonna be
right?
knocked
Yeah,
out that
man.
movie.
Yeah, if they got a $5 ticket, man.
Shout out T-Mobile Tuesdays, man.
T-Mobile
Barbie
Tuesdays
type
coming
Barbie
close.
type.
I'm more of a Barbie
That's
type.
it's.
You know what I'm saying? I don't
This
know.
is so
Oh, you're
crazy.
going to see that?
Barbie?
Yeah.
Not possible. I know. I probably won't pay for it.
Wouldn't pay for it.
I
So
probably
how
won't
would
pay
you
for
end up going then?
I'm not going. It's coming to me.
How's
Oh, so you're gonna watch it once?
Blu-ray.
Oh, okay.
No, but
that makes
Blu-ray.
sense? When it, yeah, when
2023.
They ain't got
Blu-ray.
Blu-ray?
Nah.
Dang.
Got Netflix.
All right.
Not
well,
for long.
Something that facts. Something that we found also as exciting was we talk about game one.
Yeah.
Let's talk about
Wait,
that.
do y'all want to talk about? This is our first time recording since conference finals.
Why we want? You saw the transition I had.
I know I
they
did.
Ignore
I
that.
say, yeah, let's start game one. Let's start with game one first.
We can go.
We'll come back
Game
to
one
that.
just happened. We can go to the conference finals at the end.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's start with game one.
Yeah.
So, do you want me to start it off? JD?
Yeah. Lead us in, man. Talk to us.
Yeah, man. So it was an interesting game, so to speak. Obviously, first half, Denver's didn't come out rusty, like some may have thought. They were hitting their shots. Aaron Gordon was doing a great job when they were in man. They found mismatches, and Aaron Gordon was getting easy dunks because Gabe Vincent would be switching on to him. Denver did a great job passing, moving, cutting, all that good stuff. Second half, it wasn't as fluid. Miami went back into that zone as expected. Both teams missed a lot of open shots. I don't know if it was for Miami. I think it was more tired legs than nerves, but I don't know if I could say the same for Denver. But it was a lot of missed shots that were open. I don't think we'll have a lot of those next game. Like especially guys like Max Strus and Caleb Martin who weren't really making their shots, which surprised all of us Boston fans sitting here. But we won't discuss that too much further. Bam had a real good performance. I don't know if he's going to do his best AD impression and now just not show up for game 2. So we'll see what happens there. I do think we get a much more aggressive Jimmy than we did last game. It looked like he was doing the whole LeBron thing where you fill out the series and see how your teammates play. And I think we'll have a lot more. I think the zone will be used like almost exclusively in the next game so that Aaron Gordon and guys aren't finding mismatches in the paint and just dominating. Also, Haywood Highsmith, I think he's going to get some more minutes as well. I'm sorry, CT.
I don't think, just to go off your last point, I don't think the Heat are going to go to zone. And if they, as often, and if they do, I don't think they'll stay in it because you put Jokic in. Like, the zone will work against a team that at times can play brain dead like the Celtics do. But against a team that is led by Jokic and with the shot makers that surround him, that zone will get torn apart. And honestly, I don't think Miami is in the position where they need to, like, worry so much, where they just feel the need, where they need to go, like, full-on zone defense. Because honestly, if they get this version of Bam Adebayo throughout the series, I think this series could be a lot closer than people thought it was coming into it. But with that being said, Jimmy also has to show up. You know, Jimmy has been heralded this whole playoffs as one of the best playoff performers in the league. And to not show up in a game 1 and your team loses by 10 to 11, in which in today's brand of basketball, 10 to 11 isn't an insurmountable deficit to pass. He has to show up in game 2. Because they need to take care of business on the road. Of course, the road team always wants to come out 1-1 in this series going back home. So if they win game 2, I think the Heat are feeling pretty good about this series. If they drop both of these games, you can probably chalk it up as Nuggets in 4 or 5.
My take on that, I mean, I agree. Jimmy Butler's going to have to step it up a little bit. Again, his production is hard to measure beyond the stat sheet. However, looking at, of course, the shooting, like you mentioned, from Max Strus and Caleb Martin and Duncan Robinson, yeah, that's the biggest part. I think that the Heat are going to pick back up. I think with Max Strus was 0 for 9 from 3. Who else? 1 for 5 was Caleb Martin or Duncan Robinson.
I think he was 1 for 7.
Yeah. Duncan Robinson was 1 for 5. Max Strus was 0 for 9. Caleb Martin was 1 for 2 from 3, 1 for 7 from the field.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jimmy Butler was 6 for 14 from the field. And then the rest of the shooters, those are all the shooters basically.
So we talked about the end score, right? It was, what was the score one time? You said
it was 103
104 to
94, which still sounds pretty close. But the game was far apart into the fourth quarter, which it was already over at that point. In the fourth quarter, I believe the Heat hit 6 of 12 threes, which had them leading the Nuggets in 3-point makes.
Yeah, the Nuggets were hitting anything.
Yeah, so
I think they were like 0 for 7 in like either the third or the fourth quarter at one point.
The Nuggets weren't hitting anything, the Heat weren't hitting anything, and the Nuggets still won. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot more work that needs to be done on both sides still. But I think the Nuggets have a great game plan of making Bam the leading scorer. If that's what you need to happen to win games, if you're the Miami Heat, then good luck to them.
I don't know if that's necessarily the game plan, and I do want to say,
really,
yeah, I mean, I just don't think Jimmy was that aggressive in this game.
Yeah, I was gonna say he also looked, from what I saw, kind of like people were saying last series when Jason Tatum was guarding him. It seemed like if you had MPJ or Gordon or anybody like that was taller or bigger guarding him, he wasn't as aggressive or looking to hunt his shot. So we did see a lot of that in the game as well.
Well, yeah, the Heat they had a lot less points in the paint compared to the entire playoffs, actually, on this past game 1. But I will also say, actually, no, I'll stop right there. Go ahead. I lost my train of
And
thought.
I will say you had mentioned how neither team was hitting shots. Neither team was hitting shots from three. The Nuggets
Right.
were shot 51% from the field still, while shooting 30% from three.
Jokic had a lot of key baskets in the paint down the stretch.
So even like they were able to not centralize their game on the 3-point line entirely, and they were still able to shoot above 50% in a NBA Finals game, which is impressive considering their 3-point percentage. The Heat were not able to do the same thing. They were below 45%, I want to say. And yeah, Jimmy just has to be more aggressive. I mean, I don't know how else to cut it. And of course, the shooters have to hit shots. Caleb Martin has to just imagine he's back in Boston or something, and because he was the second guy in that series for them. You could argue he was the first guy.
Should have won that ECF MVP, but we'll get to that.
He was close. He was close.
I mean, yeah. I mean, do we want to give our series predictions? I say Nuggets in 5.
I say Nuggets in 5 as well. I could see 4, but I just think Miami probably wins Game 3.
I'll give. Sorry, I mean cut you off. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you good. That's all I was gonna say.
I'll give Miami the benefit of the doubt and say Nuggets in 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Caleb? What you thinking?
I got Nuggets in 6.
Yeah.
I think Miami could pull a couple off, especially at home. I also think that Miami just came off a Game 7.
That's what I was gonna say. It's been
Against
a long
Celtics,
series.
a long series. Gave up a lot. And it was, 3 days after the game was
Yeah.
over. And they had to fly to Denver ASAP, too. So, like, all that traveling, you travel, it's like, 4 plane rides, maybe 5 in the past week?
Probably. Yeah, Game 5.
I mean,
Game 6, Game 7,
4 maybe.
Game 1.
I think it's in my opinion, I think it is much worse for the Heat, but you can build the argument both ways, simply because the Nuggets haven't played in over a week. I would say
like
week and a half.
9-10 days.
Yeah. So for them to not play basketball for that long and then
come off firing like that.
yeah, and
I
then
feel you.
be able to show up at home, like I feel like it would almost be even if the Heat didn't have to go to Denver. And we've heard all playoffs how difficult it is to play in that Denver altitude. So it's like they played up to a Game 7, even though the Game 7 wasn't really that close. So it wasn't an intense Game 7, you would say. But they still did have to play 7 games and only had a 3-day break, and they're playing in Denver. So it's like that's the other thing added on to it. But yeah, I mean, they have another 2-day break and a 2-day break after that.
Yeah.
So you know, hopefully they'll be able to get their legs under them. And I just want an entertaining series. Honestly, I just don't think we're gonna get it.
I think one of the biggest questions right now, it's kind of been another big talking point, is Tyler Herro.
Yes.
When do you bring him back in? Because he's cleared for basketball activities already.
If they think he can go and actually play, then I'd say probably Game 2. But I think they'll probably hold him off till Game 3 just to see if his hand is fully back. Because everybody says, they're gonna swat at his hand and do things like that while he's shooting. So just want to make sure he's comfortable enough shooting the basketball, comfortable enough and not thinking about his hand while he's shooting. Because we know how mental the game is. Also, we just wanted to say real quick, Game 2, I think Michael Porter Jr. has to have a better shooting performance. Because I think even though CT said, they'll probably mix their coverages up in that zone, he had a lot of open corner threes and he wasn't making them. So I think Miami's game plan might be, let's try to take Jamal away and maybe force Michael Porter Jr. to be their second best player. Because Jokic is. It's hard to stop Jokic.
Yeah. What were we saying about the? What was your question again? Because I had an answer.
Tyler Herro.
About Tyler Herro.
Oh yeah. I think the game, like they've been saying, is Game 3. I believe, based on Game 2, it determines what level of play he will be at for Game 3. If you go down 0-2, just insert him back in the starting lineup. It's not much to lose. He'll be at home. So it's not like he has to go to Denver and deal with the hand injury. But if it's 1-1, you did what you're supposed to do on the road. If he's not 100%, maybe you bring him off the bench if you need a scoring punch, maybe in the second quarter. But I wouldn't force the issue with him if the series is tied 1-1. If you get to a point where you're down 2 games at any point in this series, if it's 2-0, 3-1, that's where I say you probably insert him back in the starting lineup and hope he gives you that punch that you need to get back in it.
I think. Oh, okay.
No, go ahead.
I think bring off the bench no matter what. Not just next game, but if you want to bring him in the game, if you're going to bring him into the series at all, bring him off the bench. Don't want to take confidence away from those main guys and at the top of the rotation. See how game 2 goes. If the Heat come out flat, you probably put him in like third quarter, maybe second quarter. Towards the end of the second quarter. If they're doing well, like you said. If they leave Denver going 1-1, they did their job. You may not even need to put them in game 3. We'll see how that goes, but like I said, just kind of fill it out. Game 3 at the late game 2 at the latest. At the earliest? Late game 2 at the earliest. That's what to say on that.
What you said about the confidence for the starters, if they're down 2-0 and Max Strus is still shooting 0-4 from 3,
right?
How much confidence does he have at that
That's
point going back to Miami?
He's a professional basketball player.
I mean,
if you're struggling like that in the
that goes
finals-
to, if he's a professional basketball player, his confidence shouldn't be shaken by going back to the bench. Any of them, because who would you replace him in the starting lineup with? It would be Max
It would have to be
Strus, probably.
Strus.
Who's in the starting lineup again?
Because you would have
Gabe, him, is Cody starters, right?
No,
Cody
I
starting
don't think
now.
so.
Cody.
I know Jimmy.
It's
Oh, wait, no, it's not
Bam,
Cody.
Bam, Jimmy, Martin. I think
Caleb,
Caleb
yeah,
Martin.
Caleb, not Cody.
And
Caleb.
then Gabe, and then
Strus
either
Max.
Strus
Yeah,
or Hero.
and Max. I mean, Strus and Gabe.
All
my
right.
bad.
I mean, okay. We'll see how Caleb
So,
Martin
I mean,
does.
if-
next
I mean,
game.
I agree with your.
It's been
can't
on Caleb
start
Martin.
Kyle.
No, Caleb Martin is
Because
locked
Max
in
Strus
at the
starting.
4.
He's locked in.
Yeah. Because who's at the 4 if it's not?
Strus. He was at the 4 last year.
No, it was Jimmy.
It's Jimmy.
Oh, you're right. It was Jimmy.
I mean,
Jimmy's
this
the
is
That's
four.
not crazy then.
And the Nuggets have a pretty big lineup.
Really,
I agree.
Considering
Not pretty.
they have 3 actual forwards. I mean, 2
Like
forwards and an actual center.
even if you put Jimmy Butler and Aaron Gordon, like.
But Caleb Martin's still 6'5". Like he's still the size of everybody else. So
yeah,
what's the
but
difference?
he's an actual
MPJ
wing.
is 6'10".
Tyler Herro, Max Strus, and Gabe Vincent are guards. And then
MPJ
Tyler
is
Herro,
6'10".
And Tyler Herro and Max Strus do not guard.
They do not.
Gabe Vincent can also be taken advantage of on the defensive end.
Okay, that's not.
Caleb Martin defends.
They would be in that zone basically.
And it's not like he's banging in the paint with Aaron Gordon. Caleb
Right.
Martin would be on the perimeter because Aaron Gordon, unless he's cutting, he's not going to be in the paint.
So if he's gonna be in the perimeter, how does that make him any different from the other guards?
Because he
on the
can
perimeter?
defend. You can't have 3 non-defenders.
Caleb Martin can defend like that.
Caleb Martin is
Caleb
a good
Martin
defender
is a
now.
plus defender
He's a good
for the Heat.
defender.
He's
In
a good
comparison to
defender
Tyler Herro and
Oh
Max
yeah.
Strus.
My
That's
bad.
what we're
That's
talking
true.
about.
That's true. Okay. Great. So he's not
'Cause
like
I think you'd keep Gabe Vincent in the starting lineup
He's not
because of what he's
lockdown.
been
Yeah,
doing.
you got to
take
keep Gabe in the
defense.
line.
he can't defend.
If you look at Tyler Herro and Max Strus as defenders in
No.
comparison to Caleb Martin,
then Caleb Martin's the B+ defender if I'm gauging it by that. Then.
that's fine.
That's
So,
good.
yeah. Okay.
That's why I say he's locked into the starting lineup,
All right.
especially over Max Strus, who's been shooting 0 for 9 from 3. If you're not giving me no defense and you can't shoot the ball,
Get out of here.
yeah,
True.
might not even play again. Why are you starting over Duncan?
I
At least
did.
Duncan hit 1.
I did see that Kevin Love had a DNP. I think that's got to change also.
Man,
He's been hurt. I don't
What you
know
mean?
how much
Yeah.
of the DMP is because
It said coach's decision on the thing.
no, but it's gonna say that because he's active. But he's
He's
been
hurt.
off. He got
He's
hurt.
hurt.
What, game 5, game 4 of the Celtics series?
game 4.
Who you
I
talking
think.
about?
Kevin Love.
Kevin Love. And then
Yeah, I
his
think-
minutes have been
I
real
guess he got
sporadic
hurt.
since. I don't even know if
Well-
he's played since.
If he can play,
Cody Zeller is the backup 5.
yeah, replace him.
I don't. That's why I'm saying if Kevin Love isn't playing over Cody Zeller, I think it's because he's hurt.
That's got to be it. What about Omar Yurtseven? What about Dwayne Dedman?
Dwayne Dedman isn't on the team.
You're 7.
Omer, you're
Oh
seven.
yeah, they did. Right.
Omer,
If you're
you're
gonna
seven
get
is a-
gonna get backup minutes, he's either gonna be Cody Zeller or Kevin
Over
Love.
7 is getting cooked. He's going to
getting
get cooked.
Yeah, he's getting cooked. What about Udonis Haslam?
Jokic definitely ran him over.
Okay, we don't know me on that. My bad.
Udonis Haslam. All right, next
Hey
time.
man,
Yeah,
UD,
this
hey
time-
man, if you putting UD out there, he's
Yeah.
trying to do what Markieff Morris
He had a
got
good run.
Jokic do.
We talk about the coach hires.
Coach hires. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about that real quick.
So which one was the most intriguing to y'all?
Who got the most bag?
Probably,
Mon-
I think
Monty
Monty got the most
Williams.
bag.
What he showed.
Yeah,
6 years, 72 million.
Ooh, 12 a year?
I got
For
paid
Monty
mid-level.
Williams,
God
man.
dang.
Detroit. I don't know.
God dang.
I mean, Monty Williams is a good coach for what he is. I just think there's a very clear ceiling
Yes.
on where a team could go that is led by Monty Williams. My most intriguing one was Frank Vogel because that kind of came out of left field.
Yeah, I
don't-
definitely want to see how that.
I
one
don't think
was.
anybody. I think a lot of Suns Twitter was hoping that it wasn't Doc Rivers, but I think a lot of them thought it was either Doc Rivers or their assistant coach Kevin Young. I think that's
yeah.
his name.
Yeah, Kevin.
They said the players love Kevin Young, so I think a lot of them were hoping for him because they thought the alternative was Doc Rivers. But I think Frank Vogel is a good coach, championship-winning coach.
I'm sure Vogel will probably keep him on the staff though.
Yeah, I mean, I think Vogel's a good coach. I wanted him to be an assistant for Missoula next year, but that's not an option. I think this is a pretty solid hire for the Suns, and he has experience with dealing with the star level players after coaching LeBron and AD. So he'll be able to. I wasn't even gonna go to that level. You know, that's a different level of star. You know, it's two different levels of star.
Wait, is Paul George above or below?
No, he's below.
Okay,
in all honesty, you know, in all honesty, but yeah, I mean, he'll be able to manage KD and D Book, even though those seem like some low manageable players, you know.
Yeah.
But
When I say the most like high maintenance player on the team is probably Ayton.
low maintenance. That's the word I meant to say.
The most high maintenance player on that team is probably Ayton.
Yeah.
Not Chris Paul.
No,
He's definitely Aiden.
Nah. It's probably.
Chris Paul's too old for that now, man.
You saw how Monty was acting.
Is DeAndre Ayton high maintenance or is he something else?
If I'm a coach, is DeAndre Ayton important enough to be high maintenance?
That's what I'm saying.
He's
you know
not.
what I'm saying?
Especially now as the third option.
You know, I think
It might be KD.
I mean, once the Suns figure it all out, you know, I think Frank Vogel will have things going. I think this is like one of the safest hires they could have made.
Yes.
I think Doc Rivers really could have been a little questionable. I'm not really that much into the Doc Rivers hate train, but
Is he
I
getting
do see
hired?
That's what I'm
anywhere.
saying.
No, there's no other job. What are the jobs open?
Someone out over. We'll see.
He's
Who's
not
Toronto
going to
hired?
Canada, man. He'll go to NBA TV before he goes to Canada.
Dang. Toronto is the only one left, I think.
Yeah, I think that's the only one left.
Toronto and who did Philly hired Nick Nurse?
Philly hired Nick
yeah,
Nurse.
yeah. Is James Borrego still in Charlotte?
No, they got Steve Clifford, man.
He's still.
Oh, he went
is
back
still
over
there.
there? Oh, yeah.
I do.
He
remember
went
that.
back, yeah.
He went back. Double down.
I don't think there's any other openings other than Toronto.
Yeah, I
so
think that's it.
who's Toronto getting then? Is there going to be
That's
a
a great question.
Hold on,
I
who
have no
Milwaukee signed
idea.
again?
They signed Griffin, whoever.
Adrian Griffin
Adrian
from
Griffin?
Toronto?
Oh, yeah, I like Adrian Griffin. Okay, that's cool. Yeah.
So has there been any names rumored with Toronto?
I haven't heard anything.
Is Budenholzer in the race?
JJ Redick.
JJ
Mm.
I
Redick.
thought JJ was the Sixers.
He definitely interviewed
No,
someone.
he
I don't
interviewed
think it was
he
the
interviewed
Sixers.
Toronto.
I don't think it was the Sixers. Yeah.
Okay.
It's Toronto. He was
Yeah.
Toronto. I'm playing around though. He not get hired. He not get
I
hired
don't
at
think he
all.
want to.
He may be an assistant,
If he was assistant for one
like a
year,
low end assistant.
I don't
then
know.
became a coach.
Toronto might surprise us. Masai might pull something, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know who it'll be.
That's the one GM who, you know, if he does it, it's almost like you can't really question it because the coaches there have been pretty solid.
Mm-hmm.
But we haven't really heard that much from Toronto, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's something surprising. So
The other night, I was working the game, and I was walking past West Unseld, and I asked him. I said, "What you think about Toronto?" He said, "You know, it's nice weather, not too far from the family."
you
know
want
what
to ship him off over there?
Me ship him off.
Oh, I thought you was just asking.
How'd you feel?
Nah.
Did you hear about Travis Schlenk getting signed to Washington?
What?
Yeah, that was like I think that happened yesterday.
The Hawks
Oh,
former
dang,
GM?
that's good. He nice. I like him.
What is his role? Is he the
give me-
GM?
give me-
No,
Not
is he
the GM.
president?
Give me a second. I
He's
think it's
president
like
of
player
basketball operations,
No,
right?
no.
I think it's like player personnel.
No,
or
the
something like
president
that.
is
Give me a
the guy from the
second.
Clippers.
Yeah, Michael Winger.
Yeah, give
So
me a,
he
give
has
me a
to
second. I
hire
know
a
Woj
GM.
tweeted out yesterday. I'll let y'all know.
If he hired a GM yet.
I like Travis, man. He made some good moves with the Hawks, man.
Yeah, the Hawks.
I saw his vision.
The Hawks just dealt with nepotism, man. That's all it was.
Yeah.
The owner's son is now the GM, I think. And you see how that's going because they got Trae Young out there looking crazy. But I mean, is there any other off-season? I mean, not off-season talk. That's my transition. Any other coaching talk before we transition to some
Senior
off-season?
VP of Player Personnel, JG. I mean
Okay.
JB.
Okay.
No, I don't think there's anything else. I wish you did have Jalen here to talk about Frank Vogel. He knows best.
Yeah, because he was killing me when I was saying that we should try to get Frank Vogel as an assistant coach or a defensive coordinator for Joe Mazzulla. But
Yeah. I mean, we can transition to some off-season conversation about a Eastern Conference Finals team that laid an egg in Game 7. We was all out watching the game together. Made it out the group chat again. We was at Buffalo Wild Wings. We was at
Wow, coordinated lies. That's crazy.
Buffalo Wild
Oh,
Wings.
yeah. Wait a minute. It was a talk before
Like,
this.
nah, we was at Hooters. Decent chicken tenders, But
Underwhelming food, good service.
That's what
Why
Hooters
are you
is.
doing
though.
this? It's all-
But that's what Hooters is, though. It's underwhelming food.
All right,
and
folks.
good
hey, we had a
service.
That's
TV.
gonna
We
be
had
a
a
clip.
TV right at our booth. I couldn't ask for anything
That's what I'm
else.
saying.
That's true.
man.
We had that at Green Turtle, too.
Everything
though,
else
you know what I'm
was second, But
That's gonna be a clip.
didn't you pick the area?
What?
It
The
was
area.
your
I did pick the area.
You
I
picked
did
the
pick
restaurant,
area.
and the restaurant wasn't even open.
That's not my
We went to
fault.
Buffalo Wild Wings and they
That's
were
not my fault.
closed.
I ain't closing.
Had a sign on the door
Dude, it said
saying,
you
No, I
"We've
was
been closed
talking-
for 2 years."
Listen. I was talking to my sources. around Buffalo Wild Wings, and they said that it was closed due to
Safety concerns.
health code violations.
That's why?
And that's where you about to send us. You're not helping your case.
You said it was 2-star? It was 2 stars, right?
It's like
He
2.3.
did say that. No wonder. You
It was
talking about-
2.3 stars.
But who said meat? Come on.
We could have probably went to another one.
He said the meat don't change, something like that. Bro.
That's not what I said.
Tell us what you said then.
I said it's all chicken at the end of the day.
That's not what you
But,
said.
I didn't know. I didn't read the
He
reviews.
said the meat is meat. I'm like, man, say what?
I say that. But I didn't see the reviews. I just seen that it was 2 stars. So I mean, actually, I didn't see it. Nobody. If anybody would have actually read the reviews, we would have not gone in the first place. I guarantee you, somebody said something about it being 2 stars because of the health
I
code.
did.
But what did it say? It ain't say
I
nothing
didn't
about
read
the
the
food.
review.
did
I
it?
saw the stars.
See,
like 2
ain't
stars.
nobody. See, they set us up.
Nobody read for real.
So,
But yeah,
that's
I mean,
y'all
back to the game, because Hooters gave us a nice little setup. We had a TV right in our booth,
Yep.
so we were able to see the Celtics downfall in 4K.
Unfortunately.
Jaylen Brown. Let's
Beautiful.
start there.
Beautiful.
Jaylen Brown.
Yeah.
Beautiful game.
So
baby.
Jason Tatum got hurt early in Game 7. We're not gonna excuse any of his performance, but I mean, clearly he was hobbled. That was a clear sprain of the ankle. In my medical analysis, I say grade 2.
I just want to say real quick before we get to Jaylen Brown, I do want to. We are giving Jason Tatum a pass for Game 7, but I do feel like he hasn't got enough blame for not showing up in the first 3 games in the fourth quarter.
I mean, he clearly sprained his ankle in Game 7.
No, that's what I'm saying. We're giving him a pass for that, but I feel like he still needs to
post game limp may have been a little extra, a little light skin.
No, I get that. I'm just saying. I understand. We're gonna give him a pass for Game 7. But I think he also still needs to be.
But yeah, back to Jaylen Brown though.
No, go ahead, finish.
I think he still needs to play. I think if he played better in Game 1 or Game 2, we might not have even been in that position. But,
That's true.
So that's the only reason why I'm saying we got to even though we're gonna give him a pass for Game 7, we got to talk about the fact that maybe he doesn't get injured if he takes care of business earlier. That's all I was trying to say.
You can go ahead, Christian,
Yeah.
but I don't give him a pass. But go ahead.
So I'm gonna lead into this with a lot of people whenever they say there's also often a question that says what second or third option would you like to see have their own team, and over the years there's been different answers. Like during the Prime Warriors runs, they've always said they wanted to see Klay have his own team when he was actually able to move with the ball. But more recently, one of the common answers has been Jaylen Brown because he's made it seem like on this team he's not able to reach his true ceiling. Almost, that's just going through some of the Twitter likes, of course. So he feels like that he could be a number 1 option in this league. So we got a first-hand experience of first option Jaylen Brown in playoff basketball. And was
Still
it
hasn't
something?
learned how to dribble, man.
And he had 8 turnovers, and I believe there was a clip that showed every time that he turned the ball over, it was because he was going left. And for him to be in year 7, year 8, and not able to go left consistently without turning the ball over, and I mean he wants to act like people are wrong for questioning his ability to be a number 1 option or be that top guy that he feels like he may be. He's an all-NBA level player this year. So technically, I guess you could say he was one of the top 15, 20 players. But on a playoff team, he showed that he is not a first option because the offense that was running, you could tell they were running the Jason Tatum plays for Jaylen Brown, and it just wasn't going well. He had 8 turnovers. He didn't shoot efficiently. He wasn't able to consistently hit a 3 all series. So do we want to pose the question now? Are we
do we have the poll results? Did we ever get that?
Oh, I can pull those up. Yeah, I can pull those up.
So yeah, there's been conversation around. There's been a connection between the Trailblazers, Jaylen Brown, Damian Lillard. So there's often like 2 scenarios that pop up when discussing this. Well, actually 3. One is, will the Celtics even trade Jaylen Brown at all? Going into this offseason, I highly doubt they do, simply because it's very unlikely that from this position that they get better immediately and in the future if you move on from Jaylen Brown. But the other 2 options are, if Portland decides to stick with Dame, is there a chance that they could package the number 3 pick and like a Anthony Simons to get Jaylen Brown? And then the other scenario is if Portland wants to get rid of Damian Lillard and move on and make a pick at 3, maybe they trade Dame for Jaylen Brown. Maybe they deem Jaylen Brown as
The number one option.
yeah, that number one option. Well,
Until Scoot.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, he's gone anyway.
Well,
Yeah,
no,
for now,
actually,
he's there,
he
he's there.
actually, yeah, he might not be the number one option if you make that trade.
But
'Cause I think I had that. I think I had that in my notes. 'Cause I think I was like, even if you traded Jaylen Brown to Portland for Dame, he might not. Even though he would his
For the first few years.
his value would scream. Yeah, for like the first couple of years, maybe it would scream first option, but you still have a guy like Simons there. So
I feel like if you put Simons at, it depends on who they draft, of course. But if Simons is the point guard on that team and Jaylen Brown is on the wing, I think we're gonna have some conversations about who the real number one option is.
I don't think they're gonna trade either Dame or that pick until the draft starts.
yeah, I think
Because there's
honestly,
no guarantee Scoot will drop to the 3rd pick.
yeah. So the poll. So I believe the poll said it was 77%. They said
75.
75%. They said that they would do the Jaylen Brown for the 3rd pick and Anthony Simons trade. I will say I think that trade actually happening. I think to Caleb's point, it wouldn't happen until the actual draft day, because they would have to make sure that Charlotte does what Charlotte does at number 2 in order for that trade to make sense. Because I don't think you're trading for that 3rd pick if Scooter's gone.
I mean, you started the segment with talking about off-season moves for the Celtics possibly. I think the biggest thing that we've seen on this stage, first of all, one of the most watched game of all time pretty much, right? Due to the numbers and ratings and all that. So he got embarrassed on a big platform, which sucks because we have the same name. So I told you I went to why you making that face? You got the same name.
Him and Jaylen Brown.
Oh, you talking about UNJ? Oh,
Yeah, not Anthony Simons.
I just talk about the Celtics in general. I'm like, what
Oh,
you
no.
mean, Celtics the same name?
Nah.
My bad.
I went to Kava to pick up my order, and I went to the front, and they was like, "Oh, you Jaylen Brown?" I was like, "Yeah, man." They was like, "Oh, man, we sorry what happened the other day, man." I said, "Can I just get my Kava and go?" They was like, "Yeah." I said, "Y'all forgot my drink." They said, "Hey, take an extra one," because we saw, you know what I'm saying, that performance was bad. But
They saw the hair just like that had to be him.
yeah, I didn't like that. But anyways,
He
I
did
feel
not
like
say that.
they did. No, they did. I'm not lying this time. I know I be lying. I'm not lying this time. That really happened.
I know I'd be lying.
They really thought you was Jaylen Brown.
They really said that. They said, "I thought you was the other Jaylen Brown." They said that. I swear. I put on
Okay.
my mama, I put on myself, I put on everything.
Okay.
I put on the
you
podcast.
ordered it online, right?
Yeah.
That's probably why.
Yeah. But anyhow,
Jaylen Brown's in Maryland. Wow.
Where is he from?
he from Georgia.
Georgia.
Yeah.
And he went to school in Cali, so he ain't gonna be here.
Never mind.
Okay.
They're just being naive.
Yeah, they casuals.
Yeah.
But
'Cause that's not even how you spell
But
it.
listen,
it's
But
not.
yeah.
It's not. That's why I don't like the confusion. But I think we've seen Jaylen Brown's more of a slasher than his own full ISO player.
Absolutely.
So I think what we need is a true point guard, like a Tyus Jones, because Marcus Smart not getting it. I know he's prime
I agree
Rondo
with you.
and
I agree. I said that for one half.
I'm just saying.
Jesus Christ. No, but I agree with you. Like having a guy like, maybe not Tyus, but like somebody a little bit better than Tyus, maybe. But
I mean, we got
no, I agree with
three-star
what you're,
guards.
I agree with what you're saying there, because obviously if you get a guy like Tyus who can run the offense and can put people in position so that you don't have to rely on Jason and Jalen to play make for everything. Kind of like the Clippers with Russ, where like you didn't, even though PG can play make and Kawhi can to a degree, you didn't. All the pressure wasn't on them to play make for everybody and look for their own shots.
Right.
So
I mean,
I agree with what you're saying there.
I
Jalen.
feel like I would like the Tyus addition, but I just don't think the Celtics would start a point guard like Tyus Jones over Marcus Smart, because they didn't start Malcolm Brogdon over Marcus.
Oh no, I had
Smart.
to start him. Just have one on the roster at least, because Derek
That
White
was-
is.
that's what
That's kinda
Marcus-
what Brogdon
that's what
was brought
Malcolm
in to do,
Brogdon
though.
was supposed to do.
I
though.
agree.
And I mean, he was injured, of course, but he like transitioned to like an off-ball player throughout the playoffs. So I mean, who's to say it won't happen to Ty? I mean, I say this all the time. The ball is going to be in the best player's hands in the playoffs. So you can say you can have that point guard to like settle the team down, but at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, like we saw in Game 7, when Jason Tatum got hurt, the ball is going to be in Jaylen Brown's hands. When Jason Tatum is healthy, the ball is in his hands. He'll bring the ball up the court. He'll initiate the offense, the whole nine. So you can have that point guard to like settle things down or whatever, but 9 times out of 10, they're going to revert to off the ball, knocking down shots. That's how it happened to Malcolm Brogdon. That's what Marcus Smart does. That's what Derek White does. I mean, we have 3 people who played point guard in their career.
Yeah.
That's true.
And they've all been relegated to basically off the ball players. Like if Malcolm Brogdon isn't doing it, I don't know if Tyus Jones is going to be the solution for it.
I mean, Tyus Jones, he's led the league in assists.
He can. I understand.
Are you
he
saying
can do it
with us?
Yeah, with us.
He's not going to do it.
I was going to say,
we need to make a change then.
I agree with your point, CT, but I mean, like, even on a team like Phoenix, I mean, even though they had KD and Booker, there were times where CP3 would get the ball, calm the offense down, run that pick and roll with Ayton, and then either shoot that jump shot or dish it down to Ayton and get an easy basket. So sometimes it's just about that. It doesn't. I don't think you have to have. I don't think it's a situation where you're going to necessarily take the ball out of people's hands late in the games. But I think even if it's for possession,
that's true though. But are the Suns doing that in the last 4 minutes of the game? No.
With Chris Paul,
they're not.
They haven't done that
With this roster, Devin Booker and Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
Last 4 minutes is crazy. I mean, definitely in the 4 minutes. You talking about last 30 seconds or last 2 minutes? And all right, I give you that.
Last 4 minutes, we've seen Chris Paul do this on this.
Have the ball in his hands.
I feel like there were a couple of times in the playoffs where Chris had the ball in his hands late in the game and was doing that lovely dribble to the free throw line and then shoot that kind of. Like
I feel like that's a different scenario because if Chris Paul has it going, he's one of the best point guards to ever play the game. We're comparing Chris Paul to a hypothetical Tyus Jones.
It's not the same. I know, but you saying Chris Paul wasn't doing that. I'm like, well, he's one of the best of all time. He had the ball in his hands.
It depends on the game with Chris Paul.
Okay, that's true. That's true.
And this version of Chris Paul, who doesn't always consistently have it going, if he's having a rough game, they'll be lucky if he's even playing in the game at this point. So,
dang. Okay, all right.
Not because he's hurt, but I'm saying he's just
not good.
playing himself out the rotation at that point.
I think I understood that.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we went over game one, went over the Celtics collapse. What else we talk about?
Miles Morales.
Coaches.
What was that?
Coaches.
Yeah, coaches too. Yeah.
That was it, right? Do we have some more?
Unless you want to ask the Jokic and Butler legacy question. Unless you want to wait.
We talk about the Jokic thing?
What Jokic thing?
Jokic and Butler like the all-time.
Yeah,
unless
you want to talk about that.
We talk about that.
What,
I think we have some
both
time.
of them?
How would this ring affect either their legacies?
Yeah, or where they. Yeah, that's a
I
good
think
question.
either or be one of the greatest runs ever for an individual player.
Yeah.
No matter what. Win or loss in the finals.
I don't know. I don't agree. I feel like if Jimmy gets it done, I think this is probably one of the most impressive runs of all time. If Jokic gets it done, it's like okay. They were the 1 seed. And once people look at it, they played an 8 seed, a 4 seed, a 7 seed, and an 8 seed.
That's the problem, though. If you're not
giving
context,
I understand that, but you're saying down the line, if people 20 years from now are thinking about the greatest individual playoff runs, that is going to easily get nipped in the bud by saying you're saying Jokic and all he did was he didn't play a team higher than the 4 seed.
That's what they do with KD.
No, I mean I agree.
No, that's way different.
How's that different?
Because the KD rings are actually
though.
Yeah.
No, he can hoop all he wants, but
I'm saying
he had Steph Clay and
yeah.
I understand that, but he was hooping though.
No, he was. Nobody.
Okay, all right.
I don't want to say he
actually,
doesn't have the rings, but
let's do this. I'm gonna give y'all 5 different runs, right?
Okay.
All right. Rank them 5, 1 to 5. Just rank them.
Okay.
1 being the best, 5 being the worst.
All right.
2018 LeBron. 2011 Dirk. Who was this there?
Kawhi.
2019 Kawhi.
Ooh.
I'm gonna do 2017 KD. And the 2006 D-Wade.
You're not gonna like the answer.
Dang.
KD is 5.
Say that one more time.
KD is so clearly 5.
06 D-Wade. 2018 LeBron. 2019 Kawhi. 2011 Dirk. I said KD already?
Yeah, no, you just said KD.
So who's the
No, KD's your
Bron,
fifth. That's what I'm saying.
Dirk, D-Wade, KD, and Kawhi.
Y'all got rhyme me with that.
All right, so we're going.
I don't know about Dirk.
I feel like Bron's got to be 1 just because of the team he was carrying. I'm gonna give Kawhi 2.
Yeah.
Just because it was like really impressive.
Once again, this is playoff run.
Kawhi 2.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
not
Kawhi
playoff
2.
performances specifically, like just playoff.
No,
run.
I think Kawhi 2. Yeah, one of the strongest playoff performances
Over 2011 Dirk.
No, I'm saying run, not just performances. Run.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Go ahead.
I mean, he beat Milwaukee. He beat Golden State. Who else
I think Kawhi is 1, but
Sixers.
Really?
Oh yeah, they did beat the Sixers because Jimmy was on that team.
Y'all got Kawhi over 2011 Dirk?
I have
you
Kawhi
gotta
too.
remember
I understand who Dirk beat, and I understand what I understand that the question is runs.
Dirk beat Lakers, OKC, and Spurs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Never
the
mind.
Heat.
Give me Dirk.
I
My
got
bad.
Dirk at
Wait,
two.
when you say run, you mean like his
Like-
opponents, or
His
His
opponents included.
performance
But-
against those teams.
But I think the opponents you go against matter too.
If
though.
we're talking about opponents, then Dirk is probably 2, and then Kawhi's got to be 1.
No, we're talking about opponents.
you talk
Dirk
about
might be
opponents and
one.
performances.
Like
For example, he just
same
said
thing we was doing in the draft. It's like you
Yeah.
gotta combine the two.
Right, yeah,
somehow.
for
because
sure,
like he
for
just said, you don't think Jokic is not going. Well, personally, you think he's one of the best runs, but like you said,
Down the line,
his
it's not gonna look as
opponents
impressive
wasn't the best opponents. You know what I'm saying?
by the seating.
you
So-
said Jokic.
But I mean, people are gonna bring
You
up
by-
the
by
stars they
seeding.
faced, though.
Yeah, by
Okay,
the
by the
seating.
seeding, yeah, by the seeding. Yeah,
But
like
no,
say
it's based on
Bron,
the team,
KD,
but-
like
Yeah,
No,
but
but it's
Jokic's
based on the team.
performance alone is easily. But people down the line will
I
be
think
able to
people are
say.
more
Would
downgraded because of
discredit
what
because of
Jamal
performances.
did
Like, they've
than
already said
than
it.
who they played.
I've seen it.
I've seen that,
That's
yeah.
how I know the numbers. That's
I've
where I
seen it.
seen
Yeah.
it.
Go
He
ahead,
said
though.
8 seed, 4 seed, 7 seed, 8 seed.
Go ahead though.
I don't know Dirk's numbers from that playoffs. I'm gonna be completely honest, but I know he had to go past the Kobe after the championship.
Yeah, they swept Kobe.
I know the Spurs. That's one of the better seasons of this decade, 2011,
Yeah.
I believe.
They beat the Thunder.
And the Thunder was still pups at that point.
Not really, because they went to the finals the next year.
They were still puppies then.
That's a year later, yeah, they were still pups.
Well, they was pups in the finals then.
They were.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm still think that's an impressive run though.
I mean, compared to the other two that they played, the Spurs and the Lakers just came up winning the championship.
So we've established that D Wade is like 4 and KD's 5.
well,
I don't know Dirk's numbers.
Okay.
So to me, Dirk.
I'm
is
telling you
like-
now. 2011 in
Yeah.
the playoffs, Dirk averaged 27.7
Oh, yeah.
points,
Okay.
These two.
8 rebounds, shooting 50. Whoa, I lied.
Mm.
Yeah, he shot 50, 40, 90.
Shot 50, 40, 90.
Yep.
He's 2. I'm sorry. D Wade is 4.
Wait,
Kawhi
wait.
is
Okay, I
3.
lied. He didn't. It wasn't 50. He shot 48.5% from the field, 46 for 3,
46 from 3.
That's
All
all.
right, I'll switch Dirk and Kawhi.
And 94 for free
Because
throw.
Pascal Siakam was hooping.
I'm glad y'all
As a two
y'all
option.
heard him out.
What's Jason Terry numbers?
Jason Terry
That
wasn't
doesn't
hooping like
matter.
Pascal. Jason Terry wasn't hooping like
Terry's
Pascal.
finals numbers probably look better than the whole
They look
playoff
better than
run.
Bron. That's what I be hearing all the time.
No,
They
but
did.
I think I'm gonna switch it now. So Dirk should be 2.
Yeah.
And then,
Dirk 2 over Kawhi still.
Yeah,
I'm
because
glad y'all heard me out.
Pascal Siakam was.
Did you hear
Because
that?
Pascal Siakam
46
was
from
hooping in the
3?
finals.
That's crazy.
46.
That's crazy.
And 7
And
feet
94.
tall.
And 94 from free throw.
Come on now.
But he only shot
Dirk
2
didn't
threes a
have
game though.
Because
2
Dirk
threes a
didn't.
game. Shut up. No, I take it back. I take it
Dirk
back.
He
didn't
made
really-
or attempted.
Attempted
You only
2.4.
attempted 2 a game?
That's
Dirk
the game,
didn't-
man.
I mean, that was the game back then. Yeah.
I don't care.
Dirk didn't. I'm about to say Dirk didn't really have a defined second option. In that playoff run,
Okay.
Pascal Siakam was basically the defined second option.
Siakam was
And
hooping.
Fred Van
He
Vliet
was
was
hooping.
hooping at points in that.
Okay. So he got
Kyle
a
Lowry-
So Kawhi had a better team. Is that what you're saying? Is that why? But I think
I believe so.
you look at the Mavs team
I
from
understand
top to bottom. I think it's better than the Raptors team from top to bottom.
I think Kawhi had more help. I would say.
At the
I'm
top of the
not-
rotation.
Like we're talking about 2 and 3, so it's like it's close.
Yeah,
Toronto the one seed.
And I
Four.
think the team that Dirk
I
played
think they
to-
were because then they made that trade.
the team
yeah.
that Dirk played to win the whole thing is better than the team that Kawhi played to win the whole thing. KD didn't
KD
play.
didn't play.
He did play. He just got hurt.
Clay got hurt. KD played 3 quarters.
he played
He got
three
hurt.
quarters.
And
He
then
played a quarter and a half.
And then Clay got. But the
and then
team
Clay got
themselves.
hurt in Game 6.
The team itself was constructed with KD.
Hold on. Wasn't Bron hurt?
When?
He mentally.
You
is that
better
what you're
than
saying,
that.
mental
You
health.
better than
2011.
2011.
You better than that. You better than
mentally
that.
hurt. Respect mental health, man. You know Paul George was hurt,
He was.
so we gotta respect it.
Hey, but
That's not going. He wasn't going against Bron.
How was-
that we know Bron? He
How was?
wasn't-
Well, I know I shouldn't do this, but how was Braun mentally hurt in 2011?
You need to ask him.
2010 I can understand because of the
I
rumors.
mean,
but
Brown was still on the
2011
court though. That's the
2011.
difference. KD wasn't on the
Okay,
court,
give you
and
that.
Clay missed the final closeout games.
Okay.
Well, no, Clay was in the closeout game.
He got hurt in the closeout
No,
game.
that's what I'm saying.
Okay. All right. Given the circumstance of the players get injured, I'm looking at the roster themselves. That's why I was like, "What you mean? Like the Warriors is definitely."
Well, obviously
better
we
than
talking about the KD Warriors.
Okay,
I mean, that's
okay.
that's
I mean,
different.
yeah.
But
I mean, they were
again,
cool.
Bron wasn't.
But they wouldn't have
Bron.
won. They wouldn't have won that championship if everybody was healthy, anyways.
Brown wasn't Brown because of what Dirk was doing.
Wait,
to
so
him,
one is Bron to you.
Yeah, 2018 Braun got to be number
Oh,
one.
Bron won.
Yeah.
Bron won. It's really between 2 and 3 for Dirk and Kawhi.
Because he beat
KD, it's 2017 is 5.
Because he
Yeah.
beat Indiana,
Not
who
moved.
was pretty good that year, and they had Victor Oladipo playing well. Then they beat Toronto, who was I don't know if they were the 1 seed, but basically they were.
Probably is up there.
Yeah, and then they beat
that was a whole team playing with me.
They beat the Celtics, right?
and then they beat Boston. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
No, Braun, that was crazy.
Yeah,
I
2018
should've
Braun
threw
is different.
I showed that
Bron-
07 Braun.
And then he
Bron's
played
numbers-
KD Warriors right
Bron's numbers alone, like the competition he faced wasn't as impressive, but
Just the
the
numbers.
performances that he had to put up in order to win, because it's not like they were winning easily. Like the Celtics took him to 7. I mean, he swept the
Indiana
Raptors
went to
because
they went to
Yeah,
Indiana.
Indiana
took him to
Yeah.
7, and then he swept the Raptors because it's LeBron to.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Celtics took him 7. He
I
had
don't know
to
how we're
have
supposed
those
to be
performances.
LeBron, man.
And even game 1 of the finals that year, he put up 50 and still lost.
51, 8-8. I remember
Man.
that day.
Looking back at that, I wish he had won that game because it really would have been interesting.
Man,
to
I
see
wish
where
he had won that
series would've went.
series. Man,
Oh, if Braun won that series, there would be no
That
GOAT,
shifted
there would be
the
no
whole
GOAT discussion anymore.
dynamic. Not even a GOAT discussion, but like
I don't
the whole
even care. I don't
NBA
care if that's a
after
hot
that,
take
bro.
or not. There would not be a GOAT discussion if he had won in 2018.
You're right. It wouldn't be one. They still say Jordan.
yeah, they still lie.
They
They
still
would
say
say-
Jordan.
That's
they
a
would
lie.
say Jordan
That would be
still.
a complete lie then.
No, it's not a lie.
No, they would have said Jordan still though.
It's not changing.
No. I'm saying the people that would still say Jordan
They're
after
lying?
Braun just beat them. After
Hey,
Braun just beat
are
the
we
KD
about to-
Warriors
are we about to have
2018.
our first Jordan
I would
versus
say
LeBron
I would
debate
say
on the
that they were
podcast?
lying.
We're gonna leave it here.
Because don't you take Jordan over LeBron?
I take Jordan over LeBron too. But
So-
I do.
Okay,
I do.
let's just
It,
stop
it,
that.
it depends on the day of the week.
Let's just
honestly.
stop this conversation.
it's not that I'm gonna say it's not that far off.
I feel like
But
I'm-
I'm just saying if Braun had won in 2018, there would be no more GOAT discussion for me because he would be better than
For you, all right. For you, then all right. Cool.
I don't think.
We can leave it at that. We're not gonna stop talking about MJ and Brian if you're gonna do this.
Yeah, we can't.
We need a whole nother
can't.
separate.
Yeah, we gonna have to have a. Yeah, we gonna need JG here. 'Cause
We need a dead episode sometime in the summer to talk about Jordan versus LeBron.
Yeah.
We
We
don't
gonna-
have that discussion, please.
We need to at least give shout out to
Please.
Dwayne Wade. At
Brandon
4.
got to be on the episode too.
Oh yeah. Dwayne Wade at 4, man. He was turned up that 2006 playoffs for sure.
That man averaged like 33 in the finals. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
At 22, something like that. 24 years old.
Spanked
And I'm
crazy.
sure he probably didn't average more than like maybe 1.5 threes in that series.
Yeah. He had like what 10
He
free
barely
throws.
shot free throws too, didn't he?
No,
No,
he
he
had
was
endless
shooting
free throws.
That's the issue. I thought it was one game he shot mad free throws.
Yeah,
That's
it
it.
I
was
think it was
one,
game. I think it was
but-
like game 3. He shot like a bunch of free throws
Yeah,
Well, I thought
was watching
outside
that
of that, he
series.
was shooting free throws for real.
because Mark Cuban was not happy about that.
I might be tweet. Okay. All right,
But
I'm
yeah.
gonna.
I think we all came to a consensus. I mean, I still have Kawhi at 2. I know Dirk definitely put the numbers up, but
I'm just
I
thinking
don't know.
about
what I've seen
when
from Kawhi. It was crazy.
Yeah, I agree with you, JB. I keep saying JB. I don't know why. I agree with you, JB. I just, even though his performance was great, again, just Dirk not having that defined too is the only thing that's making me go, let me.
Pascal wasn't defined too.
He was the 2.
He was
He
too.
was
When
the
he was
second
playing
best
in
player
the
on
finals,
that
He was
team.
playing
That
very
playoff
well,
run.
but he wasn't a defined two. Like at that time, I would say Jason Terry was better. Well, more of a 2 than with Pascal.
Wait,
Siakam
who
was
won
at
most
his
improved
time.
that year?
It probably was Siakam, probably. This is live. Did I just get cooked?
No, I was.
Oh, that live. Oh, I thought it was
something
my
else,
that was my our show. I'm gonna say. Nah, I mean he won most improved, but that means he didn't come in with expectations for it. I don't think he didn't make All-Star team. We now know who Siakam is, but we see him now. But at that time, he wasn't like on the scout report still.
I agree,
He was
but
just
then he was hooping in the finals, and everybody was like,
Like what?
everybody was like,
What?
All-star player.
Was he? Was he?
the way he was playing, that's the way people was acting, man.
Oh, spin cycle. All right. Okay.
This was before he was spin cycle to everybody. Yeah, I think we good here. Definitely accomplished a whole lot tonight. Definitely talked about stuff, even outside of sports. You know what I'm saying? Sports and entertainment podcast, as we always say. Again, Brian here with CT and JB. Got Caleb behind the camera.
Sauce Chris.
This has been another episode of the What's to Play podcast. Again, like, share, subscribe, comment, subscribe, share with everybody you know, and stay tuned for the next play.